Welcome to Gothic Poetry Slam 3. I'm your host, Bill Robertson. The scares just keep coming. There once was a teacher named Roger who was quite the nervous old codger. The detention hall brats filled his briefcase with bats. Now he's the asylum's worst lodger. Her idea of malice involved crustaceans, force-fed, pinchers first. The zombie cheerleaders shook rat-shaped pom-poms as they gyrated in the gym. Their eyes were hidden by dreadlocks. Their skirts bared more than we cared to see. His arms are hairy chains. His voice is nightmare deep. He steals teardrops from my eyes and gives my doll the creeps. He has the shades pulled low. His shadow blocks the door. There's not a corner of my soul his eyes do not explore. He says I can't escape. I drink Coke with no fizz. There is no longer moonlight because all night I'm his. Wind-swept trees shed vampire leaves on desecrated ground. Transports trundle from the dusk. Death squads erupt into the oak, probing with red laser beams and high-tech scouts. The wind retreats through the trees, gasping like a lung-shot beast. Bark eyelids snap shut as menacing shadow men root for the spirit of the forest. In the gothic gloom of October, fresh graves settle with the constant rain. I revel in the stench of squashed ladybugs and listen to termites tunnel through my boots. The only joy is found in the faces of the dead. The only sunshine casts brittle shadows. Jim Morrison created an organ-mad world where spooky sideshows churn to a whiskey-a-go-go gothic beat. His leather pants housed love-death drama, while Indian beads completed his mystique. Jim had the face of a troubled angel, the voice of a banished one. He drowned the stage in his anguish, unleashed a vision of social rot, an emotional wilderness of stone. Morrison was a satyr and an oracle bard. He chanted tales of homicidal hitchhiker and unknown soldier blood meal. He used his words like a conqueror deploys troops. He dared confess that we are ruled by television. Jim Morrison was a stoner lord who took his toke of life and OD'd on it. He died naked in a Paris tub, freed from the eyes that vaporized his star. An aftershock rocked the mortuary. Beakers exploded, acids hissed, unspeakable specimens cracked from jars. The attendant was trapped beneath collapsed cement. His teeth clattered like castanets, watching the gaunt cadavers shake, rattle, and roll. Spooky called again today, but didn't have a thing to say. There was dead silence on the line for at least the 1,000th time. I asked who's there, but no reply. Could I from Spooky pry? Spooky called 10 times tonight and seemed to take some sick delight when I exploded in her ear and said things meant not to endear. Spooky wheezed, and I could tell she loved to give me hell. Spooky has already died and calls me from the other side. I know because I hear the hiss of licking flames and demons kiss. Spooky's strange, now I am too, from what she put me through. Far away she waits for me. I feel her tentacles uncoiling, reaching to pluck me from my meteor ride. Her eyes are embers, her tongue's a smoking brand. I hear her stirring on her bear-trapped bed. She's filing her teeth and preparing her face for treachery. In the quadraphonic silence of suspended animation, dreams are more than soft cocoons. An empty chair sat facing an untenanted mirror. Threadbare it sagged from the weight of dying. Springs erupted from ripped cushions, and its arms were split like weather-beaten lips. Although it was bowed and broken, Ghost still savored its musty perfume. Deep into a new moon night, shadows rise to dance in dim ruins, whirl beneath an orchestra of stars. A rustle of silk, the tinkle of crystal, bodies touch cheek to cheek. Wan hands hold partners close while faces beam as though pleased with the charade of life. Ghosts gathered beneath an underpass, car wreck victims or hobo souls. Horses posed in the mist like lava statues waiting to unthaw. Smoke poured from their nostrils and their eyes glinted with subtle fire. Down the path they jolted, fading to photo negatives. The Okies lived up the hollow in a two-windowed tar paper shack. Sheepdog haircuts marked their clan when they came into town to lounge and spit and size up the stealables. Their granny controlled the phases of the moon. Her hexes caused warts in annoying private places. Slathering werewolf jaws only leave untold stories. Zobops troop through the night. Candle-burning clans gather at the crossroads to cast spells and cavort with the dead. At midnight, they drop snarling to all fours. Zobops, don't stop. Playing headstone leapfrog beneath a haunted moon makes me glad I've risen from my rhyme-stitched tune. I imitate the night wind and shriek and huff and howl. I screech along with a panther and scowl with the owl. Darkness raises my spirits. I soar through the graveyard with glee. I shake the mist from my cold fist and scare the caretaker for free.